All right, guys, here again with you. So this example of the Gapminder dataset, in fact, we specifically filtered this. I don't know if you remember this or not, but we specifically filtered the Gapminder data for only the year 2007. And we've built here a histogram and a box plot and a dot plot of the data. So now we're going to take a look at R and see if we can do the same thing. We also have some summary statistics here, and we'll take a quick peek at how this might work. So in this particular case, in fact, the Gapminder data is built into R. You'll notice up here, I've loaded it into the package. Okay, so the file that we had with Excel was taken from R, which again was taken from the Gapminder website. But the idea is we have here country, continent, year, life expectancy, population, GDP per capita. And the process that we did before, remember we had to kind of filter, highlight everything, put it in a new sheet. Now I'm just going to write filter, and I'm going to say we want to filter the variable year equals in this case, okay, which is the Boolean, and we want to write 2007 only. So we're only looking at this. Now when I hit 2007, before I had Afghanistan a whole bunch, now I have just every country from the year 2007. So we can manipulate the same sort of idea. And maybe we want to look at the histogram of what did I have up there? The first time was it GDP per capita. Life expectancy. So let's go ahead. Let's look at life expectancy. So using this data, year 2000 only. Again, we want to make a plot of this. So that's ggplot. And specifically, we want to look at the x coordinate equaling life expectancy, life exp. Okay. And again, if we just plot this, I see I have an axis here, but I don't have any actual mapping to it. So the map we want to do is a geom, and it is a histogram. So geom histogram will give us a histogram of the data. Okay. And this is the histogram, and now it doesn't quite look as nice necessarily as it may have before, but we can do some commands here. We can say things like bins equal. Let's say I want to do maybe 8 bins only. Okay. Now we kind of have a more reasonable thing. They're not sort of shaped nicely, which is fine. That's okay. We just want to get a rough histograms typically give you a rough sense of what things look like. And that's really kind of the crux of it here. We get a sense that this distribution, which we'll talk about later, can be described as skewed left, for instance. And so to help maybe show some of the bins is we can do something like color. So rather than a fill the last time where we filled by a variable, which was mapped to an aesthetic, it's a little bit complicated here. We're just going to color this black. And so what that'll do, it'll kind of give us some delineated lines. Maybe I want to make this white to give it a better look. And we can see that there's a slight separation here. And maybe we want to make 10 bins to give ourselves a nice looking histogram. Okay. Again, we haven't really talked about labels or anything like that. We just want to look at some rough sort of pictures here. If we wanted to make let's say I wanted to make a dot plot now, rather than a histogram, I literally, I'm just going to take everything till here. So this is kind of handy. Let's open a new R chunk, put the code in here, and then I'm going to say this is a geom, and I think there is a dot plot. What does this look like? Okay, there's a dot for each thing, and we can control the size and shape of dots if we want. In this particular case, looks like we got an error here. So something is wrong, but everything seems like it's working just fine. So yeah, that's it so far, and I will see you later.